You know that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Oh, yeah.
It's been everywhere for years.
Right.
Practically a financial self-help Bible, really.
Totally.
But have you ever actually, sat down and thought
Yeah.
about why it's been so impactful?
Well, for sure.
Why its ideas resonate so strongly? Today, we're going to do exactly that.
Okay.
We're diving deep into the core message.
I like it.
And I have a hunch you might just find some aha moments along the way.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a fascinating look
It is.
at how our mindset shapes our relationship with money.
Totally. It's not even just about, money itself, really. It's more about the mental framework that we bring to our finances,
Yeah.
Our thoughts and beliefs
Exactly.
really shape our financial reality.
So we meet these two dads, right?
Right.
One rich, successful, the other one poor, struggling.
Classic archetypes.
And I think we've all encountered figures like this.
Oh, for sure.
Even if it's not literally our dads.
Yeah, absolutely.
What strikes you about these two figures?
Well, the rich dad, he's all about owning assets.
Okay.
Things that generate income, right?
Yeah.
He wants you to kind of break free from that paycheck mentality.
Okay.
And focus on building wealth through investments.
So it's not just about working for money. It's about having your money work for you.
Exactly. Having it work for you.
Okay.
And then you got the poor dad.
Right.
He's got a good income.
Yeah.
But he's struggling financially.
Okay.
Why?
Why?
Because he's focused on that paycheck.
Okay.
He's accumulating liabilities, things that cost him money.
Like what?
Like a house.
Okay.
He felt obligated to own, the classic.
The big house.
The big house, the mortgage, all that. So it's not just about how much you earn, right? It's about what you do with it.
It's about how you manage it, how you think about it.
Exactly. Your money mindset.
That's really interesting.
It is.
Because here's where it gets really interesting. Okay. The author, as a young boy, is given a job by the rich dad.
Right.
He's paid 10 cents an hour.
10 cents an hour, yeah.
What was the point?
That's gotta be like what?
What was the lesson there?
Yeah, exactly.
What was he trying to teach him?
So the rich dad, right?
Yeah.
He wanted to teach him a crucial lesson.
Okay.
It wasn't about the money. It was about the principle.
Okay.
The power of not being driven solely by a paycheck.
Okay.
You see, the author, he wants a raise, right?
Yeah, of course.
But the rich dad, he refuses.
He's like, nope.
He says, no. And instead of giving him more money,
Right.
he challenges him.
Okay.
Think about how to create your own wealth.
Okay.
Don't rely on me for a handout.
Don't depend on a job.
He wanted him to see that relying on a job for security can be risky.
Okay.
And that true wealth, it doesn't come from a paycheck. It comes from building those assets.
Having something that works for you.
Exactly.
That generates income.
Passive income.
Even while you're sleeping.
Exactly.
Okay, so what does this owning assets thing really mean?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right, because we hear it all the time.
All the time.
But how does that translate into the real world?
Well, you got to understand the difference, right? Between an asset and a liability.
Right.
An asset, it's like a money-making machine.
Yeah.
It puts money in your pocket.
Okay.
A liability, it's a money pit.
Okay.
It takes money out of your pocket.
Give me an example.
Think about a house, right?
Okay, yeah.
A lot of people see it as an asset, but the rich dad, he disagrees.
Right.
He argues it's often a liability.
Because
you're constantly pouring money into it.
The mortgage, the property taxes.
Property taxes, repairs, maintenance, the whole 9 yards.
Right. It adds up.
It adds up.
But what if, you rent it out?
Now you're talking.
Okay.
Now that's an asset.
Because it's generating income.
It's putting money in your pocket every month.
Okay.
That's the key difference.
It's not just about owning things.
No.
It's about owning things that generate income.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
It's about shifting your mindset from consumer to owner.
I like that. From consumer to owner.
That's what the rich dad is all about.
And this whole idea of financial literacy, that's a big theme, right?
Absolutely.
Throughout the book.
It's huge.
It's not just about, balancing your checkbook.
No.
It's much deeper than that.
Much deeper.
So what is it about then?
It's about understanding the whole game of money.
Okay.
How to make it work for you.
Okay.
Not the other way around.
Right.
It's about understanding investments, building businesses.
Okay.
Creating those income-generating assets we talked about.
Because without that knowledge...
Without it?
You're kind of stuck.
Right. You're stuck in the rat race.
Yeah.
Working for money.
Yeah.
Instead of having your money work for you.
And never really getting ahead. The book also does a really good job at, laying out these psychological obstacles.
Oh, yeah.
That can hinder your path to, Like financial freedom?
For sure, those mental roadblocks.
What are some of the biggest ones?
Well, Rich Dad, Poor Dad outlines 5 major ones.
Okay, lay them on me.
Fear of losing money.
Okay.
Pessimism.
Okay.
Contentment, habits,
Okay.
and arrogance.
Okay, so fear, pessimism, contentment, habits, arrogance.
Those are the 5.
Those are big ones.
They're sneaky, too.
Yeah, for sure.
They hold people back from reaching their full potential.
They keep you playing it safe.
Playing it safe, stuck in a rut.
And missing out on opportunities.
Exactly.
If you're too afraid to
take that leap.
And
you know what?
What?
The book, it calls out that little voice inside our heads.
Oh, yeah?
The one that says, the sky is falling.
The Galinita.
Yes! The Galanita, that inner voice of doubt and fear.
That's a good way to put it.
We all have it to some degree.
We do.
But Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it encourages us to confront that voice.
To challenge those fears.
Exactly.
To not let them hold us back.
Because on the other side of fear lies opportunity.
Opportunity, I like that.
And abundance.
Abundance.
It's about breaking free from those self-imposed limitations.
So it's about changing your mindset.
Exactly.
From scarcity.
To abundance.
From fear.
To possibility.
That's really powerful.
It is.
And it's something that I think resonates with a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we all have those fears.
We do.
We all have those doubts.
We all have that Galanita.
But it's about recognizing them.
Yes.
And then choosing to move forward anyway.
Exactly. Taking control of your financial destiny.
I like that.
It's your life, right?
It is, yeah.
You get to choose how you want to live it.
That's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, really.
It really is. Challenging those limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And empowering you to create the life you want.
I love it.
It's a powerful message.
It is. You're right. It really does make you think twice about always opting for the seemingly safe path. Speaking of questioning traditional paths, Rich Dad, Poor Dad outlines 10 steps the author took on his journey to financial freedom. Let's dive into those, shall we?
Absolutely. These steps offer really practical ways to apply the book's principles to our own lives.
So what's the first step?
The first step is to find a reason greater than reality. It's about having a powerful why that drives you, because building wealth takes dedication and perseverance. The Rich Dad emphasized this to the author, explaining that without a strong enough reason, it's easy to give up when the going gets tough. That desire for financial freedom has to be greater than your fear of failing or wanting instant gratification.
It's like anything worthwhile, really. You need that deep-seated motivation to keep you going. So once you've found that burning desire, what comes next?
The second step is to choose daily. It's about recognizing that every financial decision, every dollar you spend, shapes your financial future. Are you going to spend impulsively, or are you going to make conscious choices that align with your larger goals?
It's about being mindful, not mindless, with your money, right?
Exactly. It's about having a plan for your money and sticking to it.
The third step suggests choosing your friends carefully. Now, this isn't about being snobby, is it?
Not at all. It's about surrounding yourself with people who support your goals and can offer valuable advice. The Rich Dad taught the author to learn from people who were already successful in the areas he wanted to excel in.
Makes sense. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to reach higher. So it's about finding mentors and building relationships that can help you grow your financial intelligence.
Precisely. It's about learning from those who've already achieved what you're striving for.
The fourth step advises, master a formula and then learn a new one. What does that mean, expert?
It's about recognizing that the world is constantly changing, and what worked in the past might not work in the future. The Rich Dad constantly challenged the author to be a lifelong learner, always seeking out new knowledge and skills.
So it's about being adaptable and not being afraid to learn new things, to step outside that comfort zone.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that your mind is your most valuable asset, and investing in your education is the best investment you can make.
Step number 5 focuses on the importance of self-discipline. That sounds like a tough one for many of us.
It can be, but it's absolutely essential for financial success. The Rich Dad believed that self-discipline was key to controlling your spending, staying focused on your goals, and resisting the temptation to give up when things get tough.
It's about delaying gratification, right? Not giving in to that impulse to buy things you don't need or spending money you haven't earned yet.
Exactly. It's about being in control of your finances, not letting them control you.
The sixth step is an interesting one. Pay your advisors well. Why is that so important?
The Rich Dad surrounded himself with experts and paid them well for their advice. He saw it as an investment, not an expense, believing that good advisors could offer invaluable guidance, helping him make more informed decisions.
So it's not just about finding any advisor, but those who are truly experts in their field, people who are invested in your success.
Precisely. It's about building relationships with advisors you trust to give you the best guidance.
Step number 7 sounds a bit like a magic trick. Get something for nothing.
It's not about cheating the system or getting something for nothing unethically. It's about being a savvy investor and finding those opportunities to acquire assets with hidden value or added benefits.
So being resourceful, thinking outside the box, and looking for ways to maximize your return.
Exactly. It's about being creative and looking for those opportunities that most people miss.
Now, step 8 is one that I think a lot of people struggle with. It's the idea of using investments to buy luxuries, not earned income. Help us wrap our heads around that one.
It's about creating a system where your investments are generating enough passive income to support your lifestyle. That way, you're not constantly working just to pay for your lifestyle.
So it's about having your money work for you instead of the other way around. You're building financial freedom, not just accumulating more things.
Exactly. It's about creating a life where you have the time and resources to do what you want when you want without being tied to a job.
Step number 9 is about finding financial heroes. Why are these so important?
The rich dad firmly believed in the power of having role models, people who have already achieved what you're aiming for. He encouraged the author to study successful investors and entrepreneurs to learn from both their successes and their mistakes.
So it's about finding inspiration and guidance from those who have already walked the path you're on.
Exactly. It's about learning from the best and modeling your approach after proven success.
And finally, step number 10, teach and you shall receive. That's a beautiful sentiment.
It is. The rich dad believed that the more you teach, the more you learn. He challenged the author to share his financial knowledge with others, not just as a way to give back, but as a way to solidify his own understanding.
It creates this amazing cycle of learning and sharing, where you're both giving and receiving valuable knowledge.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that knowledge shared is knowledge amplified. And teaching is one of the most effective ways to deepen your own understanding.
These 10 steps really do lay out a comprehensive roadmap for achieving financial freedom.
They do. They show that financial freedom isn't some distant destination. It's about making intentional choices daily that align with your goals, building that unshakable foundation for long-term wealth.
It's not about getting rich quick. It's about building a sustainable system that supports the life you want to live. A life on your terms.
Exactly. It's about taking control of your finances and designing a life of abundance. Rich Dad, Poor Dad goes beyond just these 10 steps, though. It encourages us to always be on the lookout for those hidden opportunities that most people miss.
Like what, for example?
Well, he suggests looking for those subtle signs of change in your neighborhood. Things like for sale signs that have been up for a while, or an unusual amount of moving trucks. It's about understanding that change, while often uncomfortable, breeds opportunity.
So it's about being observant and tuned in to your surroundings.
Precisely. Rich Dad, Poor Dad also suggests talking to people on the ground, so to speak, like real estate agents, contractors, even postal workers, to gather intel about an area.
Being proactive and seeking out information, not just passively hoping it falls into your lap.
Exactly. Successful investors are those who are actively digging for opportunities. Rich Dad, Poor Dad stresses this time and time again.
Another interesting tip is this idea of buying the pie and cutting it into slices.
Right. The book points out that so many people limit themselves to what they think they can afford. But Rich Dad, Poor Dad encourages us to think bigger. Consider acquiring that larger asset, like a multi-unit property, and dividing it into smaller pieces to sell or rent.
It's about being creative and finding ways to unlock value that others might not even see.
Absolutely. Resourcefulness is key. And while we're talking about being resourceful, the book also talks about the importance of not being afraid to negotiate, even if your offer seems low. You never know what a seller might accept, especially in a down market.
That takes guts, though, right? To put yourself out there like that.
It does. But the reward can be substantial. Rich Dad, Poor Dad stresses that profit is made when you buy, not when you sell. It's about being a savvy buyer and knowing how to spot value and negotiate effectively.
It reminds me of that saying, you make your money when you buy, everything else is just management.
Exactly. The book also reminds us that today's small company could be tomorrow's breakout success story. Just look at the history of the stock market. All those massive companies started small. Recognizing trends and patterns is powerful when it comes to identifying investments.
That's a great point. So much of investing is understanding human behavior, both individually and collectively.
Absolutely. Rich Dad, Poor Dad also draws an interesting distinction between consumers and investors. Think about it. When a supermarket has a sale, consumers stocked up. When the stock market has a sale, many consumers run for the hills.
It's the fear factor. The psychology of money is so fascinating.
It is, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad encourages us to think like investors, see those market downturns as opportunities to buy, not panic sell.
That takes courage, though, to go against the grain like that.
It does. But remember, fear often drives irrational behavior, especially in the market. Those who can overcome that fear, think strategically, and hold their nerve often come out ahead.
It's about being contrarian, seeing potential where others just see risk.
You got it. Ultimately, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a call to action. It urges us to take that step, to learn, to invest, and to not let fear paralyze us.
It's about being proactive and taking control of your financial future.
Precisely. Rich Dad, Poor Dad emphasizes that the most successful investors are those who are actively seeking out opportunities, not passively waiting for them to appear.
One of the key concepts in the book is the importance of mastering a formula and then learning a new one. It's about recognizing that the world is constantly changing, and the formulas for success that worked in the past might not work in the future. The Rich Dad encouraged the author to be a lifelong learner, to constantly seek out new knowledge and skills.
So it's about being adaptable, right? Not being afraid to learn new things and to step outside your comfort zone.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that the most valuable asset you have is your mind, and that investing in your education is the best investment you can make.
The book also highlights that opportunities are all around us, but we often fail to see them because we're not looking for them. The Rich Dad encouraged the author to develop his financial vision, to see opportunities where others saw only obstacles.
So it's about having a mindset of abundance, right?
Yeah.
Believing that there are always opportunities available if you're open to seeing them.
Exactly. It's about training your mind to spot opportunities and to take action when you see them.
The book also talks about the importance of taking action, of not just sitting on the sidelines waiting for the perfect opportunity to come along. The Rich Dad encouraged the author to be bold, to take calculated risks, and to learn from his mistakes.
So it's about being proactive, right? Not being afraid to step outside your comfort zone and to try new things.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that failure is a part of the learning process and that the only way to truly succeed is to be willing to take risks and to learn from your mistakes.
The book also emphasizes the importance of building a strong financial foundation, starting with small investments. The Rich Dad encouraged the author to start small, to learn the ropes, and to gradually increase his investments as he gained experience and confidence.
So it's about taking a gradual approach, right? Not trying to get rich quick, but building a solid foundation for lasting wealth.
Exactly. It's about being patient and persistent and building your wealth over time.
The book also encourages readers to be patient and persistent, recognizing that building wealth takes time and effort.
That's right. It's about understanding that financial freedom is a journey, not a destination. And it's a journey that requires commitment, dedication, and a willingness to learn and grow.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad also emphasizes the importance of having a long-term perspective, right? Not just focusing on short-term gains, but thinking about how your financial decisions today will impact your life years down the road.
Absolutely. It's about creating a plan for your financial future and making choices today that will support your long-term goals.
Book concludes with a compelling example of how the author's friend used these principles to create a college fund for his children, starting with just $7,000 and a little bit of financial intelligence.
It's a powerful illustration of how these principles can be applied in real life, even with limited resources. The story emphasizes that financial freedom is attainable for anyone willing to learn, take action, and stay committed to their goals.
It's an inspiring example of how a little bit of financial knowledge and a lot of determination can make a big difference in your life and the lives of your loved ones.
It is, and it highlights that the most important investment you can make is in your own financial education.
It's about empowering yourself with the knowledge and skills you need to take control of your finances and create a life of abundance and prosperity.
Exactly. Rich Dad, Poor Dad empowers readers to challenge conventional wisdom about money, develop their financial intelligence, and build a life of financial freedom. It's a timeless guide that continues to resonate with readers because it offers a fresh perspective on wealth creation and encourages readers to think differently about money.
It's a book that can truly change your life if you're open to its message.
It certainly is.
What really struck me was the story about his friend who saved for his kid's college education by investing in real estate. It shows that with a little creativity and financial know-how, you can achieve some pretty amazing results.
That story beautifully illustrates the power of thinking outside the box and using leverage to build wealth. The friend didn't just passively save money in a low-yield account. He used a portion of his savings to acquire an asset, a rental property, which generated income and ultimately appreciated in value.
And he used the proceeds from the sale of that property to make even more strategic investments, ultimately creating a much larger nest egg for his children's education than he could have achieved through traditional savings methods.
Exactly. He understood that money makes money, and that by investing his money wisely, he could create a snowball effect, where his initial investment generated more and more income over time.
It's a powerful example of how the principles outlined in Rich Dad, Poor Dad can be applied in real life to achieve significant financial goals. It's not just about theory, it's about practical strategies that can make a real difference.
Absolutely. The book provides readers with a framework for thinking about money, for understanding the financial system, and for making informed investment decisions. It encourages readers to take control of their financial destiny and build a life of abundance and prosperity.
It's a message that's more relevant than ever in today's world, where financial literacy is essential for navigating the complexities of the modern economy.
I agree. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a timeless guide that can empower readers to build a brighter financial future.
So what's the biggest takeaway from all this, expert? What's the one key thing that's resonating with me?
It's about thinking differently about money. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. The book challenges us to break free from traditional financial mindsets, to question the rules, and to create a life where we're not dependent on a paycheck, but on the power of our own assets.
You know, what really sticks with me is the idea of choosing financial freedom every day. Not just with a big dream, but with every decision you make, with every dollar you spend. What do you think, expert? Is that a powerful way to approach it?
It absolutely is. It's about
Yeah.
being intentional with your money, making it work for you instead of the other way around. It's a constant choice, and it's a choice that can truly change your financial future.
So there you have it, a deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and a fresh perspective on building wealth. Now that you've got this new knowledge, what are you going to do with it? I'm excited to hear how you'll apply these insights to your own financial journey. And as always, we're here for you. Hit us up with your questions or share your thoughts in the comments below.